I just wanted to sit down and say a few words. My wife and I were having a conversation, and it was about our relationship and how things came to be. And one thing that became apparent is her perception of me and my perception of me were two entirely different things. And I'm sure that's the case with most people in most circumstances, right? Your perception of yourself is not necessarily how other people see you. But where it becomes problematic, where it became problematic in this moment, is that I perpetually have this very skewed, unforgiving, ungraceful view of myself. I've talked about this before with my imposter syndrome. So I perpetuate a self-identity that is the least possible of somebody that has accomplished the things that I've accomplished. I don't deny that they've happened. I deny how they happened. I deny my part in them, all that kind of thing. So that affects my self-perception. So when I'm thinking about these different relationships in my life, whether it be with my significant other, whether it be with friends, whether it be with jobs, things like that, my perception of myself colors the stories that I tell about myself, right? I don't necessarily believe in other people's ability to love me purely if I don't believe that I'm somebody who's purely deserving of love, right? If I don't believe that, put it in a job context, right? Like if I don't trust and believe in my abilities, if I don't believe that I'm a valuable employee, if I don't believe that I'm an intelligent employee, if I don't believe I'm an accomplished employee, if I don't believe I'm an asset to other people's organization, then the reasons that I give myself for why I was hired will be some sort of ulterior motive, you know? And this became apparent when we were talking about the advent of our relationship. And I said, wow, that's so fascinating, because I think about my self-identity and how it has been an impediment to me. It's been a big impediment to me, personally and psychologically. Not necessarily how it impact relationships, but it certainly impacts relationships, because if I respond to people differently because I distrust their motives because of how I feel about myself. And I really that whole thing just came full circle, and I realized just exactly how destructive and pervasive that negative self-identity can be, to the point where it can, like, truthfully become a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? Because if I don't believe that I'm somebody that's deserving of love, then even though I might be receiving it, I can't, even though people might be sending it to me, rather, I'm not receiving it because I translate and transmute it into something else. And then if I'm receiving it as something else, I'm not responding as if I'm receiving love, which is gonna make me harder to love, right? So you end up creating that world that ultimately you thought that you were in the first place. So I just wanted to call that out while it was on my mind. And obviously that whole self-identity is something I'm working on very, 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 very hard. And it's something I'm going to really try and make a piece of business this year, because it's definitely not something that I want to pass on. And I also want my kids to grow up in a warm, happy, and healthy environment, which is better when we're getting along better. And we're getting along better when I have a better self-identity. So there you have it.